across. So Kanye West, we've talked about his recent shenanigans, haven't we?
I believe we've touched
upon some of them.
5 to 6, 7 times
at least. But this was a video that I came across, and I thought was pretty interesting because this sort of seemed a lot like what Ye has been saying, and this is the obviously infamous Malcolm X. And he was being interviewed, and he was asked, "Are you anti-Semitic?" And let's take a look at his answer here.
Okay,
shall we?
Yeah.
Malcolm X.
Another of the odd parallels that just seem to just oscillate, back
to and fro
in this fair land of ours.
Let's take a look.
Are you anti-Semitic?
Complete the stupid thing.
Anti-Semitic.
You've many of the things that I've read about you, and you've made a mention a couple of times about the Jews and everything, and I'm wondering if you are personally anti-Semitic.
No. How can I be anti-Semitic when the Arabs are half the Muslim world is Semitic? If I was anti-Semitic, I'd be anti-Arab and anti-everything else. No, I think that in this country, there's one mistake that the Jews make. They put themselves in a position where whenever anybody gives an objective analysis of the role that they play, they defend themselves by accusing you of being anti-Semitic. And a Negro is not anti-Semitic when he says that the man who's exploiting him in his community is white, because it is a white man who owns all the stores. Now, is it an accident that these whites who own these stores are Jewish? If it's an accident, then the fact that he says the Jew on the corner is exploiting me isn't an anti-Semitic statement. It's just more descriptive of the man who's exploiting him.
Are you anti-Semitic?
It's funny, though. I mean, it's like...
So that's kind of what Kanye was saying.
Which,
really.
Of course, I'm sure he's heard this interview at some point or something.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
This has probably influenced some of his thinking, I would think.
Right. But, I mean... It is funny how far back this goes. And also, here's something.
What?
Is that what it was then? The Jews owned the stores in the ghetto?
I mean, I believe that
I don't remember that.
I think that was a big part of it, I think.
Because since then, it's gotten way more sophisticated. You know what I mean?
That's true.
If you subscribe to these things. But, it's like... it's in our lifetime. It was always like the Koreans. They didn't like the Koreans because the Koreans.
Yes, and that was specifically in like South Central and
all over. It was even like that.
I suppose it was.
When I thought it was fun when I first moved to New Orleans, like 2002.
Yeah,
and I would go like with my black friends to the ghetto.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised by that. There was most of those were Asian owned down there too. And those were like the only Asian people I ever saw there.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Where do you go? Do you just live in there? And like the delivery comes and you just eat whatever you have. And,
Yeah.
I saw those neighborhoods were crazy. I said, there was a couple Asian people. And then one time I saw a white guy. He was walking with a 12 pack, like head down. And back then there were some holdovers of like the age of like denim and long hair. Right. And he was probably in his 40s then. It was like 2002 or something, So he was like still doing the late 80s, like 90s style. You could just tell he's a real fucking piece of shit. And he was walking like real fast. And I was like, there's white people in this neighborhood?
Yeah.
And my friend Wallace goes, very few, and they move quick. That's funny. Well, yeah. All right. Anyways, what was the point of that? The Jews own the stores then.
That's the thing.
Interesting.
Is Malcolm X had a take similar to Kanye's take currently that he's really in a lot of hot milk about.
Right.
And I thought,
now,
are people going to now are the same people that are disavowing Kanye to this extent going to now also disavow Malcolm X, because Malcolm X is obviously a prolific civil rights activist and sort of
I don't know. I would say there's some people that view him as a harmful revolutionary.
Yes.
But what's interesting is as he walked back, his super divisive views is when he got assassinated. If you ever look at that, weird. It was like when he started to go, wait a second. I think we're all being played against each other, and it's not really an us against them thing.
It's more of us against them.
Hey,
we've already had this on you.
Yeah,
we'll just pull the trigger.
Yeah, we're gonna have there's gonna be a guy there's gonna be one guy, just like always, one person involved, just a
crazy lone nut.
Yeah, a person who had like protection all the time and security and shit. One crazy guy will just take you out and then like put his rifle in the trunk and like wait in a parking lot. It's like, I mean,
that seems plausible again.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're not. Yeah. They're not onto us here.
I'm seeing a pattern, and then you just see a red dot on you. You're like, no, I'm not. What did I say? Pattern?